They thought the most important people were 4 letters ESPN.
I was just stunned that ESPN would be so stupid.
You know, I had 15 great years and then 3 years that I shouldn't have been there, the last 3.
Dan Patrick is a broadcasting legend.
What did you say?
Dan Patrick has changed sports radio and television.
Dan's got a massive and loyal audience built over decades of doing this so well.
He was part of the golden era for SportsCenter, left ESPN and created a lane for his own radio show that is now simulcasted on television. Helped create a first-of-its-kind degree at Full Sail University.
To succeed in this business, you have to be ready for what's next. But the core of great sportscasting, I don't think will ever change. And this program brings it all together.
Dan has been a trailblazing original who will age like fine wine as other sports media members continue to follow his blueprint. His contributions will be highlighted in this video, as well as his bumpy path to success, filled with funny moments, controversies, and a man cave any sports hoarder would be proud of. Welcome back to Unlikely Success, where I focus on attributes of success through covering celebrities, athletes, and finding stories to learn from. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe and comment to support the channel. Let's get into Dan Patrick's journey to sportscasting greatness. As we start our topic, I want to be very clear on one thing from the top. I am a confessed Dan Patrick Show fan, and I think the show's hilarious, as well as I believe their sports takes are very informed. With that, let's get started. Daniel Patrick Pugh was born in Zanesville, Ohio. He was one of 6 children and starred in basketball at William Mason High School, once scoring 36 points in a game, showcasing a silky smooth jump shot, but nearly no defense, as even he would describe it. He even earned a scholarship to Eastern Kentucky, where he would stay for 2 years prior to transferring to Dayton University, where he would later earn his degree in communications. Dan would enter the media as Dan Pugh, working in radio for the first 4 years of his illustrious career.
I did morning drive radio at a rock and roll station. And I remember the first day I started, the Ayatollah Khomeini was in power in Iran, and he was doing bad things. And I had to actually read some serious news. I didn't know how to pronounce his name. And totally butchered it all morning long. And then finally, my program director said, you should watch the news, listen to the news if you're going to do the news. If not, then you need to move on.
In 1983, a big break would happen. He would replace Keith Olbermann.
Dan and I worked together a decade before we started hosting SportsCenter. You succeeded me as the sports bureau reporter for New York CNN in 1984 when I left to go to work for Channel 5 in Boston.
Temporarily abandoning radio, he would land opportunities to cover the World Series, NBA Finals, and Winter Olympics during his time with CNN. Dan would also make a name change and become Dan Patrick. Alongside the new name was a new job. DP would decide to join ESPN, or the mothership, as he now calls it. He joined in 1989.
We'd like to welcome into our fold from CNN, coming over here to the SportsCenter, Dan Patrick, and I'm sure you will enjoy him as maybe you did before at some other place. Welcome aboard, pal.
Thank you, Chris. It doesn't get any better than this. That's why I changed area codes.
It may not have been clear, but this single decision would change Dan Patrick's career forever. Before SportsCenter became the ubiquitous highlight show it is today, it was marginal late-night programming. After joining ESPN in 1989, Dan would anchor SportsCenter and continue to build his skills as a radio broadcaster on The Bob and Brian Show, Wags and Elliott Show, and covering sports for Ohio's WLVQ. Dan was working diligently to improve his radio and television broadcasting skills simultaneously. In a stroke of luck, ESPN would pair Dan with his old friend, Keith Olbermann, in 1992. The pairing had a shade under a 5-year run and increased the show's popularity immensely. Keith and Dan had clear on-air chemistry. They had a brash way of delivering highlights. Their unique brand of sports captured fans across America and led to disgruntled management.
That was the infamous meeting that we got called in upstairs.
The infamous meeting?
Okay, but that was the one where they were rattling the saber there. That was the most memorable one.
An iconic ad campaign.
I think the question I get asked most is, at the end of the show when the music's playing, the anchors are talking to each other, what exactly are they saying?
I'm Dan Patrick.
I Keith Olbermann.
See you later. Did they sell men's clothes when you got that outfit?
When was the last time your hair actually moved, like 1977?
When you put your fingers through it, I had to kick you.
This ad campaign was largely the result of Dan and Keith's previous reprimand for describing their SportsCenter hour as, quote, the Big Show.
They insisted we stop calling ourselves the Big Show, and Keith said, we don't know how many people are watching. We're kind of making fun of ourselves, calling ourselves the big show. We're not. And then everybody took us seriously. Like, you guys really think you're the big show? And we go, no.
Which was now replaced with,
this is SportsCenter, and the next thing we knew, they've been running the same damn commercials for 35 years.
This has been The Unlikely Success.